Hello, welcome to the United Man. Just wanted to pick up on how today went, which wasn't the greatest in how it ended, unfortunately. Wanted to go over a few things, namely, how we spent on our net transfer. Also, well, including many other bits and pieces. So that's rating each individual transfer and how we did. Also, our transfer window as a whole. Also, wanted to get your views on the team selection for Sunday against Chelsea. Obviously, now that we haven't signed anyone else and we have what we have in terms of the two added defenders and winger, wanted to get you guys' views on how we're going to line up on Sunday. I've done a previous video based on, well, it had Bruno Fernandes in it for one, so that obviously didn't happen, and also Paulo Dybala. So that was a hypothetical video in terms of if we were to get a couple of players in. Now that we haven't, wanted to get everyone's views on that also. I think the main thing today is trying to ascertain how our season is now going to go. Obviously, it's hard to predict. Obviously, Solskjaer's brought in a new system, but we have a lot of the same players that we had from last year, and we have changed our starting lineup, or should I say, improved it by two players. So it's trying to understand where we're going to go from this point forwards. So yeah, really wanted to get all the views on that as well. Get rid of that because I feel that if we're going to make actual steps forward and progress, I should say, we we'll end up having to really intrude. I've seen in the comments on the live stream earlier where we're saying, okay, I was asking the question, where do you think we'll finish if we don't sign anyone? And some guys were saying sixth, some were saying eighth, and as low as 10th. So really wanted to get the views on that. So let's see who's in the stream. If you want to drop a hi or what have you, let's see who's in at the minute. Let's see if my stream's catching up. So got Ahmed in, Hamya, Draco. How's it going, guys? So far. Okay, let's have a look. Get ready to finish in 17th position, Hamya said. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay. 17th. That's a bit far, that's a bit far-fetched, but you never know. Yeah. Let's start anyway. If I start with, first of all, I wanted to start with the teams that have improved around us. Now, teams that have improved around us. Let's go for a list. So Leicester's improved. I look at Leicester's midfield and yeah, Leicester's midfield is at the moment better than ours. As I was saying earlier in the stream earlier, I said I'd take Wilfred and Didi. I'd take, who else would I take? Yuri Tillmans, and I'd take James Maddison. Not over Pogba, but to play alongside Pogba, so, or in and around, if you like. So yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, I know we took Harry Maguire off Leicester, but still they've improved and they've gotten better. And these are the teams that we were struggling to beat last season. Wolves have improved. Also, I've got down there, Everton has improved. Arsenal's improved. And they're the teams that are in and around us. So, yeah, I fear for what we're going to go up against come the beginning of the season. Chelsea will be a good eye-opener for us as to where we're going to be there or thereabouts next season. So, yeah, let's see how we go. Wanted to touch on, now it's not a subject that I normally touch on in terms of the finances very often. I more look at the players that we bring in, out, the way we play, tactics, all that kind of thing. But kind of needed to bring the attention, if everyone isn't already aware, but needed to bring the attention to you in regards to our net spend. So I think it was 18 million we spent on Daniel James, 50 million on Wan-Bissaka, 80 million on Harry Maguire. So that's, what's that, 148, let's say, mil spent. And say we got 72 back, roughly 72, 75 in between that region for Lukaku. Now, that actually means, obviously, you're getting some change back from what you spent already. And that means that's a net spend of 75, 76 million, give or take a few mil. So that, my dear friends, is what you call a fleecing from your own club, or should I say from the guys who run the money in our club. So we've basically spent just over 70 mil, and how much have we improved? Like I said, we've improved by 2 players in our starting lineup, 3 if you count Daniel James for the actual squad. But other than that, it's still the same. Now, not forgetting, I think we touched on this the other day, how many centre backs that we have within the squad. And we had the opportunity to loan out. Chris Smalling, I believe, with the option of buying to Everton. So, and one of the reports is suggesting that he was labelled as one of the people that was, if you like, crucial after Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. So what does that say for the likes of Axel Tuanzebe, who's obviously needing development, and he's just signed a new contract? What's going to happen to him? Probably going to end up going out on loan, if that is correct. If it is, you still got Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, who's the next ones up, if you like. Obviously, Eric Bailly's injured as well. Marcus Rojo's there. Yeah, we've got tons of centre-backs that we don't need. As we were discussing, I think it was on my first live stream actually, one of you guys suggested playing Axel Tuanzebe as a CDM, and then I think Terry, you suggested Timothy Fosu-Mensah that could play there as well. He's just come back from his knee injury. So we've got options, but again, if we don't, for example, if we're still playing the likes of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, these guys they're not going to get any opportunities really. So yeah, net spend, we're a rebuilding club, by the way, with billions and billions of pounds. So wanted to make that point again, as I did earlier on the live stream, that let's not be fooled by the Glazers and or Woodward sort of partially putting out there that we don't have the finances, because as I said earlier, before the transfer window opened, a couple of days before the transfer window opened, Ed Woodward went on record to state that he'll back the manager with the club's financial muscle to help start the rebuild. Now, on every single turn, that includes Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, obviously Harry Maguire, Woodward tried to, obviously that's his job, I suppose, to a degree, but obviously he's tried to, I won't say undercut, but get players in for a lesser deal. But for me, before the season starts, if you go out announcing the fact that you've got tons of money, you put in 30% or 40%, who knows, percent on top of each deal. It's purely because you're saying we've got loads of money. Simple as that. Now, not only that, we're Manchester United, so everyone knows that we're a global brand financially anyway. And you come out before the season starts saying, look, I'm going to back the manager. We've got the club's in a good position, basically. We're going to spend the money. Obviously, we already pay premiums because we're Manchester United. But obviously, him coming out and saying that from the beginning, that made it worse. Yeah, so and not to mention, we could have had Harry Maguire probably about 3 weeks ago, because Leicester stated that they wanted a world record fee for a defender if they were to sell Harry Maguire. We didn't get that. Sorry, we didn't give that at first, but as soon as we paid that fee, which Leicester had from the very beginning, we got Harry Maguire. So the point is, he haggled and haggled to what end? Nothing. He's just making Ollie's job harder by getting these players, taking him so long to get these players in, so they're having to adjust, get used to our system, get used to the players, everything. So it's lucky that obviously Harry Maguire is already in the Premier League. He knows what it's all about. He knows some of the Man United players anyway. He's played against some before as well. So I'd imagine it wouldn't be too much of a transition for him. Plus the position that he plays anyway, he's not going to be involved with closing down and whatnot. So anyway, for me, I wanted to touch on, and I didn't want to go on about it too much, but I have to mention it. Now, I know for me, definitely for me and a lot of others, Bruno Fernandes was that guy that we all wanted to see arrive at Manchester United. Now, the question was asked before, not long before I got on, why or what was the reason that Manchester City, Liverpool, Juventus, PSG, Real Madrid all skipped on this guy, including ourselves. What was the reason? So there has to be something going on in regards to indeed why we didn't sign Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, the eye test doesn't, well, very rarely fails. I've seen him play on TV. I've seen the highlights, and yeah, I mean, he's a lot better than a lot of what we have already. So if you look at the comparison, direct comparison, we've got Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata that can play that role, and obviously Angel Gomez, who's potential, but he's a lot better than them. His stats say it. Obviously, from what I've seen, I believe it also. So, what would be the reason that he was very coveted at the beginning, from if you believe what the report said, but we didn't go for him? Well, I believe we were in for him, and for me, 55 mil or from our part, or 60 mil from our part, that's not too much for a player like him. We've spent 80 mil on a central defender, albeit we did need him, but it's just strange. Right, just gonna jump into the comments and see what everyone's saying. Okay. Also, if you guys wanted to give me your individual ratings of each transfer, so for example, Daniel James, I'd given him a 6 out of 10 as a transfer deal to Man United. I've given Aaron Wan-Bissaka 9 out of 10, and I've also given Harry Maguire, I put down Big H, 9 out of 10 as well. So yeah, give me your ratings, guys, for what you think and how we done with those individual players as well. Lara says, yo man, I think it's a 4 out of 10. Overall, yeah, I mean, it's not been great. I've put down a 6 out of 10 for overall. I think if we signed Bruno Fernandes, that would have bumped up to a 7. If we got a striker replacement for Lukaku, possibly an 8. I don't know. I'm playing Football Manager to get rid of the pain today, mate. So Draco. Okay. I've not played Football Manager in a while, man. When I used to jump on that, I'd spend hours and hours on it. John McDonald says, I think we are well short. Yep, couldn't say. Rasmus says, we take too long with the deals. I agree. John McDonald says, again, no doubt about it. We've been mugged off. The only thing we are signing is a big fat check for Glazers. How would we got? Yeah, it's true. It's true. At this point in time, we've just recouped 70+ mil for Lukaku. And where's that money going to go? Are we then going to spend it in January? I don't know. I'd say possibly not. But where's that money going to go to? Okay. We will struggle in all means. Man United supporters, you have to expect the worst. It will be the worst season for us. We will play 5-4-1. The biggest bus parking defense tactic ever, says Red Hat. Woodward didn't spend more money because he is going to throw the kids in at the deep end, Rachel says. Yeah. Ballard says, Manchester, yeah, pray for Manchester this season. Yeah, I agree. Daniel James, 6 out of 10. Wan-Bissaka, 10 out of 10. Rasmus says, Maguire hasn't played yet for us, so I will not rate him. Yeah, that's fair enough. 10 out of 10 for Wan-Bissaka. Listen, I'll go with the 9 out of 10 for Wan-Bissaka, and like I said, I've gone with the 9 out of 10 for Harry Maguire as well, purely because of what he's done for Leicester and Hull. I saw him when he was playing for Hull, and more recently, obviously, well, I should say highlighted more is last year's World Cup for England. How well he done there. He was one of us. It was one of the standout players for England. So yeah, like I said, I've given our transfer window a 6 out of 10. I'm struggling to see where we're going to get the creativity from, though. That's the problem, because say, for example, we'd sign Christian Eriksen or Bruno Fernandes. Those guys are going to create and score. They're both set piece specialists, and you've also got Paul Pogba next to them. Now you've got flying wingers, and we've got a bunch of forwards up there as well. But the main play and opportunities comes through central midfield in terms of creations, chance creation. But with Paul Pogba not actually wanting to be there, and I don't believe we'll sell him because, yeah, I think, like I said earlier, if we did sell Pogba, I'm giving Man United a bit of credit here. I'm assuming that we wouldn't sell Pogba without being able to replace him, which we can't now because our transfer window's closed. But stranger things have happened, and these guys are money men, they're not football men, so you never know. But like I said, I'd like to give them the benefit of doubt in regards to not selling Pogba, but you never know. So one thing I did want to touch on as well is with relation to the chance creation and the actual players that we do have available to us to create chances. Jesse Lingard, he plays in fits and spurts. He's not had the greatest pre-season, but he can create, but he's more an off-the-ball movement, kind of link guy, 1-2 touches in and around the area. That's more his strength. He's not the type of guy that is gonna put a slide rule pass through or a through ball or whip across in, say, for example. Whereas Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes, those were those very, very key and crucial guys to unlocking a defence. Whether because both of them are both long-range specialists, both of them are free kick specialists, and also, yeah, they're highly creative. We already know what Christian Eriksen can do because he's in the Premier League. And I'm wondering now what's going to happen with Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes, because Eriksen already come out and said that he'd like a new chapter. And obviously Bruno Fernandes pretty much all but said goodbye to everyone at Sporting Lisbon. So what's he going to do? And as some of the comments were saying before jumped on, is Phil for Ollie, because obviously he's the person that's gone to Ed Woodward and said, right, these are my players, these are the guys I want, this is who I believe we're gonna need to actually start the rebuild, if you like, and not sort of stay where we are or fall further back. Bearing in mind, the teams I mentioned before, Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Arsenal, they've all strengthened. Like I said, Wolves beat us, I think it was twice last season, or 3 times, or not, I can't remember. But all those teams have strengthened around us. Arsenal finished ahead of us. Those other 3 teams, Leicester, Everton, Wolves, they all finished just behind us, but I think it was like 8 or something points, I can't remember. However, they've all improved. They've all spent masses of money, and yeah, we've shored up the defence. Yes, we have. But if you look at it, we've shored up the defence by 2 fantastic individuals. However, we've weakened our midfield by losing Ander Herrera, and we've weakened our goal scoring in strike force by losing Romelu Lukaku. So if you're playing the balancing game, what does that mean? That means we're pretty much in a very similar position where we were last season, because we've lost our probably second best midfielder, and we've lost pretty much. He was our goal scorer, wasn't he, Romelu Lukaku? Both Martial and Rashford, they started on the left at the beginning of the season. They started on the left where Lukaku started down the middle, and them 2 alternated. I suppose we've got Alexis Sanchez, but I keep forgetting about him. As many of you have said in the comments before, he's very much a forgotten man. Do you guys think Alexis Sanchez will have an impact this season? Me, myself, I don't believe he will. I'd be surprised if he did. I think he's 31 now. It's very rare that if you drop in form, from 29 onwards, that you reclaim it. It's different with the likes of Ibrahimovic, his form has been like that, throughout his whole career pretty much. When he comes to Manchester United, obviously he's gone to LA Galaxy since. I know the MLS isn't as strong as the Premier League, but the point is he's kept his levels there. If you look at Wayne Rooney, he's left Manchester United and he's come back to the Championship because his levels have dropped off. So yeah, I'm just intrigued to see now how we're going to do. The silver lining, I believe, could be is that Angel Gomez gets the opportunities. I believe we now have to, because he's the only other one in the squad, I believe. Maybe one matter, but I believe, yeah, Angel Gomez is the only one in the squad that can unlock a defence by 1-2s, the through balls. He's got the intelligence. He's one of those players that, like, for example, when he scored in the last friendly, and, he's run down and he's pretty much... He was like on the line, but he still slotted it in. I mean, those types of goals, if Messi scored it, everyone would be eulogising, saying, look what Messi did, but it was Angel Gomez, our 18-year-old prospect. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see anyway. Let's see what everyone's saying anyway. Go back a bit. Okay. 10 out of 10. Wan-Bissaka, they're already calling him the Spider. Yep, I completely agree. The Spider he is, yep. What can we do to kick the Glazers out? Those leeches are running United. So, I was speaking to one of the guys, LA Brit, his name is, in regards to the Manchester United Supporters Trust. Now, I haven't fully clued up on that yet, but they are guys that understand and know the nuances of both financial takeover and what it'd take and what it'd need for example, for the shareholders to be bought out or stakeholdership. Those are the guys that actually know everything that needs to happen in regards to actually making that happen, making it an option, making it something that we can actually jump on board and actually, if you like, keep going, make it an actual thing. So I will keep an eye on that one. Manchester United Supporters Trust for you guys who may not know about that. As I said, I'm not fully clued up on that yet. So yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Let's have a look. I've created a petition on change.org to get the Glazers out. I'm not too sure what that is. Follow the Twitter. Okay. Okay, so we've got Terry asking, the Glazer family are responsible. Well, not asking, sorry, saying the Glazer family are responsible. Put Woodward in charge of the football affairs. They should now bring someone in who can actually do the job and let Woodward do the one thing he's good at, and that's making money, basically. I completely agree. Hope Sanchez comes back with something to prove. He's on a lot of money. He certainly is on a ton of money. Do you think what this is part of? I'm not too sure what that is. Can't stop supporting United because it is in my DNA. Bruno. We'll never forget. Oh yeah, the transfer window. I agree. I'm right. Brandon B, much appreciated, my friend. That's our very, very first super chat. So much appreciated for that contribution there, Brandon. It definitely helps for what we're trying to do here for sure. Do you think this is the start of the rebuilding stages, starting with improving the defence and moving up the pitch? Yeah. Is Ollie looking at sections of the pitch to improve step by step? So, Brandon, thank you very much there, mate, for the super chat, pal. Much appreciated, and it will help with supporting the channel. For me, building in stages starts when you're laying a foundation of anything. It needs to be a very, very strong foundation to you're building, obviously, on top of. So if you look at it as a pyramid, you start with your foundation. That's got to be your strongest, and that's got to be your focal point. That will be essentially what the club is based on. Now, at the moment, the reason why it's so worrying is purely because we're a financial entity. The footballing decision makers in the club aren't making the footballing decisions. As Terry said, you've got business people, banking people making footballing decisions. So in terms of building and it being stage by stage, it's very hard because the foundations that we're actually laying here are very shaky because obviously money comes, money goes. What Ollie's trying to build, I completely endorse. Now, for example, what Bruno Fernandes, Paulo Dybala was doing, or not doing as it were. He was trying to fleece us for money. And so was his agent, and also the image rights complications that came with it as well. Now, what happened with that is, and he was and ahhing, he wasn't sure. You saw reports for about a week or so saying he's uncertain about Manchester United and the project, what's going on there. Bruno Fernandes, You never heard that once. You never heard that one time at all. Even back with Matthias de Ligt, he said he'd be open to the opportunity of being the leader of a rebuild. With Dybala, he was and ahhing all the way through, and ultimately he then come up and says, if you want me, come and pay me a ton of money, and you don't know if you're going to get performances out of me because I'm not coming for the right reasons. When you get someone saying that, you know it's red flag time. And for me, I back Ollie all the way, because for me, that was probably a lot more Ollie's decision to not go ahead with the Paulo Dybala deal. Well, not a lot more, probably 50-50. But I know Ollie would have said, from the reports, was saying that Ollie said he only wants players that really, truly want to be at the club. And I back that, because if you're bringing in players that are just there for the money, a la Alexis Sanchez, look at his performances, man, since he's joined on with us. Look at his performances since he's joined with us. And yeah, it just goes to show he came for the money, and he doesn't care. He's off in Chile or wherever it is, he holidays or whatever the case may be, because he doesn't care, and he's getting 400 plus grand a week, so he doesn't care. He doesn't have to care, because he's paid for the rest of his life, clearly. And Dybala, albeit he's a lot younger, a lot more hungry, it had potential to go down that road. So that's why I believe Ollie was right in that matter also. Now, in terms of what I wanted to improve first and foremost, it would have been the defence. Then it would have been adding a central midfielder next to Pogba, and then cover for striker as a different option to what we've already got. We've got Martial, Rashford, Daniel James, Mason Greenwood, Alexis Sanchez even, who are quite similar in how they play, their characteristics, their roles, what they can and can't do. They're all very, very similar. So when we were linked with Mandzukic as a different option, I believe that was Ollie thinking, okay, we might need a plan B here or a plan C. I don't know, but that's thinking outside the box, saying, okay, we may need a different type of player who can do something different to everything we've already got. So for me, we start with the defense. Yes, absolutely, shore that up, and we have done. We've done immensely good work in improving our defense. Absolutely fantastic work. We have lost Ander Herrera, so we've made our midfield weaker, and we've lost Romelu Lukaku without replacing him, so we've made our strike force weaker. So in terms of building in stages and sections, we're just not doing that. We if you like, we're taking two steps forwards and 2 steps back, so we're in the same place. So ultimately, you can expect us to finish in 6th place again, because, as I said, we've improved our defence, but then we've weakened our midfield and our strike force. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see. Right, John says, I know it's hard. The only way to go to get the Glazers out is to boycott Old Trafford. I did see, in actual fact, there was planned, I think, protests outside Old Trafford, but I think there was only 50 people that turned up or something in those amount of numbers. But for me, you can boycott it, but it'd have to be something sustainable. It'd have to be something that would be sustained. And channels, fan channels like this one, some of the bigger fan channels as well, I know they'd be up for that sort of thing as well. So that's why something like the Man United Supporters Trust, where they actually have plans in place, where it's okay, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3 in place, and that's how it'd work, and that's the only way. It has to be a progressive thing. We can't just go out there and say, right, this is what we're going to do, hold banners up and expect something to change. It's got to be progressive, it's got to be planned, it's got to be sustainable, and it's got to be consistent as well. Starting lineup versus Chelsea, Terry's gone with David Hay in goal, Wan Turam, as we call him, that's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Slabhead himself, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Fred, McTominay and Pogba. He's also gone with Daniel James, Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford. Whoa, controversial there, mate. Missing out Anti-Martial and going with the young bucks. That's a very, very, very brave one in there. Okay. Terry likes a bit of controversy, guys. Tell me what you think about that team, though. Leaving Martial out. Other than that, I probably would pick the same team. Yeah, I'll probably pick the same team. I'll probably have Pereira on the bench ready to come on for Fred. If Fred's not doing it, definitely not starting Matic, in my opinion. However, I believe Oli will start Matic. I really do. I believe Oli will probably start with Matic and McTominay. I think he will start with Matic and McTominay. As much as I loathe seeing that selection, I really do believe he'll do that. Okay, thank you for that one, Terry. United said they only looking at him for Bruno. It was all about money. Need to show pride if you want the club, not money yet. It's getting painful as both are major rivals ahead of us. Yeah, absolutely. Repeat the team, please. Okay. So we have, and this isn't my team, by the way. This is Terry's team. It's David De Gea in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, or Wan Thuram, as we call him, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Daniel James, Mason Greenwood, and Marcus Rashford. So that's a very, very interesting lineup there. Martial being one of our best players pre-season. Yep, Martial is better than Rashford. Oh, that's okay. Ramondo's saying Martial is better than Rashford. Woohoo! Okay. I don't know. I would say Martial has the potential to score a lot more goals than Rashford. I'd agree with that for sure. Better, I don't know, because Martial is much more of a clinical finisher. I believe if you play Martial at the number 9 versus playing Rashford at number 9, I believe Martial will get you more goals. He's deadly in front of goal. I really do believe Martial is deadly in front of goal. He's just a little bit lackadaisical sometimes. He can look like he's not trying as hard sometimes again. But as I say, no, I believe Martial and Rashford, they're our main two protagonists for goals this season. And if they don't do it, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. If we'd brought in Eriksen and or Fernandes, you can see the creativity. You can see the opposition's defenders and all that stuff. They're worried about Pogba and also worried about Fernandes, or they're worried about Eriksen. But you've only got Pogba really to worry about coming through central areas, who's going to be feeding the wings as well. I know we've been playing down the wings a lot more, trying to create opportunities down the flanks throughout pre-season. I just think you need to be able to unlock defenses these days coming through the middle. I don't believe wing play will be the be all and end all. We have to have an alternative, in my opinion. So yeah, I think we're gonna struggle to score goals. I really do. And if we've got a lot of pressure on our defense via the midfield, not retaining possession, we're going to be in trouble. We really are. Okay, I wanted to put down. A question I was going to pose to you guys was, who do you think the biggest breakout will be this season? Do you think it'll be Rashford? Do you think it'll be Daniel James, Martial? Who do you see having a breakout season this season? Fred's going to get a lot of opportunities now that Ander Herrera's not here, and Mourinho's not here, even though it's Mourinho signing. McTominay, Luke Shaw, I don't know. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is just going to be immense anyway. My preference for breakout season player will be Mason Greenwood. I genuinely believe this kid is the next big thing. I genuinely believe he can go on to be whatever he genuinely wants to be. I believe he can go on to be Manchester United's all-time record goal scorer. A massive statement to say, I know. But he's a better and more natural finisher than Wayne Rooney was when he came to the club. Bearing in mind, he turns 18 in October, I believe. Greenwood is a more natural finisher than Rashford, for sure, than when Rashford came out of the academy. I just believe that Greenwood has it all. He's not phased by anything. If you see him, he has a very even kill demeanor about him. When he's playing, he's not overawed. He's not, oh my gosh, deer in headlights type of thing. I genuinely believe he can beat anything. And I think he will occupy that right hand side. And yeah, he's so two-footed, it's ridiculous. He'll come in, cut in and shoot on his on his left foot. And he'll come in and cross on the right or shoot with his right. He's so gifted and skills for days. He's got pace. His technical ability is second to none. Yeah, I genuinely believe he's that next one up. I really do. So what have you guys put in terms of who you think is next up? We've got... Oh, missed one here. I think Alou Traore should be implemented in the first team practices. He looks like a baller in the CDM. Yes. I've not seen tons of him, but yeah, I can see what you mean there. Yeah, I've not seen a lot of him, but yeah, I can see what you mean there, Brandon. Who do you think runs faster? For me, probably the quickest player on the team now is Daniel James. Before that, I would have said Marcus Rashford. Yep, we've got Rash there as well as agreement. Martial has to live up to the hype now. No good just turning up during friendlies. James, Greenwood, Gomez, Chung must play a major role. United must be brave with the youth. Yep. Yep, unleash the kids. Yep, I agree. I think Ramondo said Fred. So you're saying Fred's going to have a breakout season this season. United fans saying Greenwood's going to have a breakout season. Brandon B has gone with Greenwood as well. Yeah, John say, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I've mentioned a few times actually in regards to Robin van Persie and the likeness that Mason Greenwood has to Robin van Persie, and yeah, Rachel said it there. Yep, it's like a clone. Seen him run. If any of you guys have seen Robin van Persie, he has a very sort of languid style of running and a very distinctive style of running, passing, dribbling. You look at Mason Greenwood, he looks the exact same as Robin van Persie when he's running and passing the ball anyway. And John says, I've got a feeling that Sanchez is going to have a good season. He can't keep playing bad. He was brilliant at Arsenal, might get him going. Yeah. If that was the case and Sanchez could step up, I continually forget about Sanchez, but if he could step up, that would be absolutely brilliant, I must say. Yeah, if we could get Sanchez going, as not forgetting he's the experienced one within the team now. One of few experienced heads within the team. I know you've got Ashley Young, Juan Mata, Matic, Alexis Sanchez. But Alexis Sanchez is not a leader by any means. Let's not get it confused. But yeah, if he could turn back the clock and start rolling out the goals, I'd be over the moon. But I can't see it. But if he did, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Brandon says, I think is McTominay will have a make or break season. Yeah, I agree with that one, Brandon. Because he's not established. He's not an established Manchester United player. He's not. So for me, we're gonna find out if he can actually cut it at this level. He has potential to be a Don O'Shea, if you like, or Darren Fletcher. He's got the potential to be that kind of role in the team, and I think those kind of players are important. You do need those types of players within the squad. Now, he's Manchester United through and through. He works hard. He wants to win. He wants to do everything for Manchester United. And you do need that. You do need those type of characters within this squad. However, if he's to be a starter, that's what we're trying to ascertain, if he'll be able to do that job or not. The jury's still out at the moment. Technically, he'd have to, for me, play CDM role. I don't think he's got the technical ability or the creativity to play just a central midfield role to support Paul Pogba. For me, he's not, unless he changes all of a sudden, for me, he's not going to be able to do that role. I can't see him upgrading himself to being that type of player. Guys, we've got 30 people, I believe, in the chat at the minute. We've got 15 likes. Let's see if we can double that and make it to 30. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Yeah, I'll tell you what. What I'm gonna suggest. I'm gonna suggest if Alexis Sanchez has a good season, if Mason Greenwood also has a good season, and Marcus Rashford, then we'll finish top 4. So a good season for Marcus Rashford for me will be 15 league goals, 5 goals in the Europa League, and 5 goals across all the other competitions. So League Cup and FA Cup, if you like. That's 25 goals for Marcus Rashford. Alexis Sanchez, if you can get 15 goals, that's a massive contribution from him. 10 goals from Martial, or 10 between 10 and 15, and 5 to 10 goals from Mason Greenwood. For me, because we struggled so much in scoring goals, if we can get those players firing, if we can get those players making an impact at the top end, that takes pressure off the midfield. Because we will get chances, don't get me wrong, but how many chances? And if we don't get many chances, can we be clinical with the ones that we do get? Can we be a 1 in 3 finishing side? We get 3 chances, we knock one of those 3 goals in. Can we be that type of team? Remains to be seen. I do not know as of yet. We shall see. But yeah, if we can get Alexis Sanchez out of the woodworks, then brilliant, fantastic. Did want to touch on also, who do you think, we've only made 3 signings? I know, but who do you think is our best signing of the transfer window? For me, personally, I'd go with Harry Maguire, because I know Aaron Wan-Bissaka's performances have been fantastic. I know they've been immense, but there's quite a few decent right backs out there. There's quite a few right backs that can not do what Wan-Bissaka does, because trust me, I've not seen too many right backs be as successful defensively as Wan-Bissaka has been, both on the pre-season and for Crystal Palace. But for me, I choose Harry Maguire purely because there's not too many potentially world-class defenders out there. I'm not saying Harry Maguire is world-class. However, he has the potential to be world-class. He has the potential to be such a massive, massive impact on our dressing room and obviously on the pitch. As a leader, he will organise the defence. He's a colossal in the air, but for me, the main thing for me with Harry Maguire is the fact that he brings that air about him, that presence. So, for example, the ball's going up in the air. I'm not going for that. Harry Maguire's there. Okay, the ball, we're going to try and slip it through there. Maguire's probably going to read that, so we're not going to even attempt that pass. It's like Rio Ferdinand was. When Rio Ferdinand and say Nemanja Vidic used to play together, Nemanja Vidic was good at cutting the danger out when it was there. Rio Ferdinand was good at cutting out the danger before it got to a dangerous situation. You see what I mean? So Rio Ferdinand was good at reading the game, and that's what Harry Maguire brings to it as well. His presence and his ability to read the game. He doesn't have to be the most athletic. Don't get me wrong. He's a physical guy, but he's not the most athletic in terms of he's not going to out sprint Rashford, say. But his reading of the game is that good. He'll put himself in a position where he won't get caught out in that kind of way. So like we kept doing last season, and we only had Lindelof really perform. Really realistically had Lindelof performing at the back, in my opinion. So let's see who you guys have gone for. Seeing Harry Maguire. James is a project in the making, yep. AWB, I see why he chose him. Harry, yep, and I think United fans gone with Harry as well, yeah. So yeah, it looks like A few of you have gone for Harry Maguire as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of you went with Aaron Bissaka as well. But I'll tell you what would be funny if all of a sudden Daniel James dropped 15 assists and 10 goals on us. I bet no one would see that coming. I can't, to be fair. His end product is not there yet. Still going to take a bit of time to develop that. But we shall see if he turns out to be one of the consistent Man United players or if he's going to be a bench player all season. We shall see. But we bought him as a project. £18 million. Can't really complain about that. He is what he is. He's not gonna listen. Daniel James's pace on its own is gonna cause defenders problems. Ryan Giggs came out and said about Daniel James, he is the fastest fastest player he's ever seen. Now Giggsy was rapid, obviously, as we all know, but Giggsy has come up against other rapid players, and for him to say that Daniel James is the quickest player he's ever seen kind of gives you an inkling to how quick that lad is. But can he do it on the ball as well? It remains to be seen. What we got there? Another one to keep an eye on is Garner. He could be another Keane. Yeah, that's high praise and a high target also. I'd like to see how he does develop though. For all the negative thoughts tonight, we will beat Chelsea at 4 on Sunday. Go on, John. I love that. I love that, mate. Yeah, I get your predictions in for the game against Chelsea. I'm gonna go with 3-1 Man United. I think Rashford will get a couple, and yeah, I think Pogba will get the other one. I'd like it to be Martial to start off with if he does start, but I think Rashford will get a couple and Pogba maybe. So yeah, I'd like to see that. So yeah, I've gone 3-1. What are you guys saying for the Chelsea game? We got, what's that, 3-0 Ramondo. He needs end product to his game. Yeah, you're right, Rachel, in regards to Daniel James. Ramondo's gone 3-0. 3-1. United fans gone 2-1 to United. Rachel's gone 2-0 to United. That's a win. That's a win. That's 100% win ratio. That's a lot of pressure we're putting on United. Okay, I have a bad feeling that we'll lose, says Winston. I don't know, but yeah, what do you think the score will be then, Winston, if you think we'll lose? For sure. Fred says, for sure, not sign Bruno. Which team is he at? Rudy says, I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 to United? 2-0 to United, then I'll take it, yeah? Okay. We'll win, says Alexander. What are you going to go with the score, though, Alexander? I've gone 3-1. If I'm honest, I'm excited about the game coming up because I'm excited to see what or how we're going to play. I'm excited to see that all the work that Ollie's put in, because you could see it throughout the whole of the pre-season. You can see it getting better and better. But it's when we're in possession of the ball, and what's our movement going to be like. You could kind of see the fluidity a little bit more, but it's hard. It's just hard to see when we're off the ball. What are we going to do? We know we're going to press them. How long can we sustain that for? That's not going to be sustainable for 90 minutes. So you're going to have to pick and choose your times. When we're on the ball, are we going to be moving the ball quickly? We're going to retain possession. What are we going to do? So I'm very intrigued to see what we're going to do. In terms of the game on Sunday, I will be doing a review after the game. I'll probably do watch-alongs further into the season, but you guys will have to let me know if you're wanting the watch-alongs or if the reviews, are satisfactory. As we go along, let me know, because I want to be able to try and do stuff that you guys are happy with. I want to try and do stuff that you guys are going to want me to do, what you want to see. So as we go through the season, let me know. I'll keep doing stuff on the community feed as well. Want to keep that going so we can all stay in contact that way and whatnot. But if I'm not on there, because I don't get alerts for the community feeds for some reason, but if not on there, just follow my socials as well on Twitter and Instagram also. I did want to, I'll tell you what as well. Now, the thing with Ashley Young, I wanted your opinion on, guys. The thing with Ashley Young being made the club captain, obviously Ollie said when he plays, he'll wear the armband. But when he's not playing, which will be a lot of the time, you would have thought, when he's not playing, who's going to wear the armband? Because Ashley Young's club captain, but he's going to start his games. He's going to be starting a few and far between, you'd imagine, apart from maybe Europa League or League Cups. I don't know, but he's not going to start most league games, is he? So yeah, who's going to wear the armband, do you think, when Ashley Young isn't playing? For me, I'd say probably David De Gea from what I've seen. There was even talk of Lindelof getting the armband, which for me is he seems a bit too quiet for me. I like vocal leaders. I like your Roy Keane, your Patrick Vieira's. I like those guys who, they're if you're doing something wrong on the pitch, you let them know. So I like those type of leaders on the pitch. Okay, I'm sure that we're going to make top 3 finish. I like the optimism. I think third is pushing it, mate. Yeah. Shane, if we won Europa League again, would you call it a successful season? Good question, Rachel. In all honesty, I'd say it's progression. But for me, for a successful season, that'd be determined where we finish in the league, purely based on what do we do if we don't finish Champions League for next season. We'll have the same problem again for next season, trying to sign top end players. Top end players want to play in the Champions League. Simple as that. I think that contributed to us not getting Jadon Sancho this summer because we didn't have Champions League. So for me, success will be predicated on whether or not we qualify for the Champions League and our league standing. Winning Europa League is always good. I've heard some of the other channels saying that they don't care about the Europa League. They're not bothered. Play the kids. If we get knocked out straight away, they're not bothered. For me, if you're going to breed winning within Manchester United, keep winning. If you're winning, you breed more winning. If you're winning, you get used to winning and you know how to win. And if you've got them young kids involved in winning those major trophies, it's only going to be a good thing. It's only going to help them get used to the way of winning. They're going to get used to what it takes to win, to sustain the level of performance to get to winning trophies. So for me, whatever competition you're in, we have to try and win. Simple as that. I know the league is going to be probably off limits this season. I know we're going to be fighting to get into the top 4. However, but when you get to the likes of the Europa League, the League Cups, FA Cups, for me, you've got to be looking to win those types of competition. Very important to breed winning within the squad. Where are we? Have I lost where everyone was? John says it's got to be Pogba or Harry. If Pogba was staying and if Pogba hadn't said what he said over the summer, I think he'd already be club captain, if I'm honest. Because Mourinho had already seen something in him to make him vice captain last season. But obviously their fallout led to him taking that vice captaincy off him. And obviously him then saying within the summer that he wants to leave, I think that stopped those opportunities of him being made club captain, if I'm honest. And as John said, I believe it will be Harry Maguire, if I'm completely honest, because for me, once you come out as a player and you say, I want to leave, it's going to be hard. It's like when Wayne Rooney said that he was looking on going Chelsea. It's very hard to go back from that. Unless you come back and, you come back with your tail between your legs, you say, I'm sorry, and you put your head down and you get on with the performances. Pogba's done all that apart from saying, I'm sorry, basically. He's got his head down and, yeah. Okay. Exactly it will be progress, but we were built for Champions League, I agree. Without Pogba, we are going to make a good season. Not too sure about that one. Do you think we'll get Bruno? Yeah, the window's shut on that. Yeah, the transfer window's done. Not too sure about that one, mate. If you're a bit late on that one, that's Daniel. Yeah, so Daniel, if you weren't with us at the beginning, mate, transfer windows obviously shut up 5 p.m. and yeah, didn't get Bruno Fernandes, didn't get anyone. So it was a pretty uneventful day for us as Manchester United fans. So we're kind of licking our wounds at the moment and just trying to make ourselves feel better and getting ready for the Chelsea game. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. Much appreciated for you joining me again, and Brandon, much appreciated again for that super chat contribution, mate. Guys, as you know, I'm trying to build this channel, trying to yeah, it was a terrible day. Trying to do as much as I can in terms of building this channel. And guys, you guys supporting is absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I don't think we need more players, says Uduka. Tell me Paul Pogba is not leaving. No, Pogba isn't leaving. Again, I touched on that before. If Pogba leaves, I'm hunting Ed Woodward down myself. I tell you, I'll put on my combats. Yeah. Pogba won't be leaving. Like I said, I've got to give them some kind of credibility in terms of you being able to use their brain power. Pogba's not leaving. Yeah, if he does, you'll see a different side to me, I'd say, because that's something that cannot happen whatsoever. Yeah, it's been an uneventful day, guys. I was hoping for, it would have been better if we was running till 12 o'clock. We could have gone up to, midnight or whatever, those old days when the transfer window shuts at 12 and all hell's breaking loose up till then. You never know. Anyway, it would have been good, but yeah, appreciate the support, guys. I shall catch you in the next one, and yeah, I'll catch you in the community guide, guys, or Twitter or Instagram. Take care till then, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. See you next time.